Hi, everyone, and welcome. It's Norbert from the MindSpark team, and it's with great pleasure today to co-host this webinar episode with Nick, one of our very own research associates. So glad to be here with you today. Before we start, and as a side note for those of you who haven't joined us for previous webinars, we at MindSpark have put together this remote research toolbox series as to expose other brands and agencies to the various platforms that can be used for conducting remote research. These webinars are usually short, about 10 to 15 minutes, free to watch on demand whenever you want. And up until now, we've covered a bunch of platforms, and there's actually already one on Recollective. But we felt that it's important to bring to the spotlight a fantastic new feature of Recollective, which is the live chat function. So without further ado, let's dive into this episode by recapping on what Recollective is. Nick, the mic is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you, everyone, for joining us again. I'm happy to be doing this. So for those of you who don't know what Recollective is, as Norbert mentioned, we do have a series that we've started for online tools. So feel free to go back and get an understanding of the broader overview of the product. But just as a kind of check back in on what it is a online research tool that allows you to customize every experience of your study, whether it's card sorting, online activities, product testing, live diaries, so on and so forth. There's a lot of customizable aspects with Recollective that give you firsthand insight and real-time feedback on whatever sort of project that you're doing. There's a lot of really cool features with it, but specifically we're focusing on the moderation and socializing side of it. And that's really what we're drilling down on today. So the next slide here, we're talking about the Recollective live chat function. And what it really does is it allows you to engage with participants through live streaming or in pre-selected groups, whether it's chats or it's actual videos. There's different customizable products throughout it that allows you to get what kind of research you're trying to get. If you need diaries or if you just need instant activity feedback, this live chat function is really about real-time data collection, insight, and using effective stimuli along the way to get an authentic experience from your participants. How it works, which is on here on the next slide, is people will log in however you organize your segments or your study or whatever it is that you're looking for, how many people you need. You'll let people log in up to 25 on the live video stream, which is a pretty good number of people for a live video, or up to 200 in a live group chat. You'll organize them based on the segment, activity type. So let's say, if you're doing an online activity feedback and you want to hear what people have felt about your precise activity or what they're going through and how they feel, if it's an emotional-based study, you can really get that live intel in the group chat that you can then save, share. The best part about that is you can have multiple moderators and administration running this live chat. So if you need two people, talking and two people taking the notes or trying to track exactly the type of intel that you're trying to gather, you have a lot of access to have a lot of support, both as a participant and also as a moderator, administrator, or the person hosting the study overall. The best part about this too, being in 2021, everything happens on mobile and desktop, but I think it's super important for getting that authentic feel that people can use their phone to get on Recollective's live chat platform. Because if it's a site-based feedback and people are able to actually sit where the stimulus is, let's say, or in front of a picture, you can really get that immersive experience and coming back from that. So that's kind of how it works. The strengths, which on the next page here, which I think are really awesome. There's a back room that Recollective has built into their study, which allows multiple translators, administrators, moderators to all kind of talk in private away from the study to make sure that you're hitting all your targets for what you're trying to gather from your study. So you're able to connect with multiple people, multiple ends to see, where do we need to pry further? How can we organically, keep this conversation going? Are participants vocal today? Are they not? And you're able to kind of really control your study from that back end, which I think is super cool and a very, very important tool to have. Another cool thing, of course, is just the real-time insights. I think I mentioned being able to carry it on your device. And again, if there's a stimulus or if it's an outdoor activity or if somebody's testing a product live, you can really get that feedback as you need it, and it's not manipulated. It doesn't go through 3 or 4 editing processes before you get to really get that experience noted, documented for the best results. Also, simplifying data collection and data analysis. There's polls that you can do. There's really cool product testing where you get to actually go on the Recollective site and through this live chat function, express what parts of this product you do like, don't like. There's almost a heat map attached to it, so they can really get an understanding of, as the researcher, you can get an understanding of what parts of the product need work, which parts of a product, let's say, are mostly liked. So I think just that idea of the live chat, being able to do those polls and actually see that live testing is huge. Again, that multiple host live concurrent projects. So you could be running 2 projects at the same time with 5 moderators. We're all going, interacting and being between all the studies. I think it allows for diversification, also allows you to cater to your participants' needs, a bit more flexibility in your study, which is always good when you're trying to get as much insight as you can from as many people as you need it from. And then just being able to maintain control over it, the content, and it being personalized, specialized to if it's on brand, or being able to control the content your audience is seeing, being able to make sure that your audience is on track, who's being part of the study and who should be checking up on your audience as well. So that's super important overall for the strengths.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that. A nice elaboration of what this function does. And with that, we can move on to questions that we have received from clients and people interested in Recollective's new live chat function. So what's the one thing that this function is best used for?
I think it's a really good question. I don't think there's a best necessarily thing for Recollective. I think just the ability for you to really control the whole study is what makes it such a good tool. The live chat function really just gives those pure insights, and you're able to really get the feedback that I think you're looking for as a researcher or as somebody, testing your own product. I think just the overall interaction aspect of it, I know it's not specific to, why is it so good? And obviously that's what live chat is for. But I think just having that in your study, that live interaction in real time, is just so important. So when it comes to what type of studies, the answer really comes down to, almost everything. I think it's hard to say, why one works better than the other when what you're really looking for is authentic feedback.
Let's say that people maybe are wondering if it's only for remote studies, but it could even be used for like old school, so to say, face-to-face studies. For example, if there's if you're sent to like a shopping tour and people want to be with you on the tour, you can also just take your mobile and just have the chat with you there, right?
100%. That diversification is huge. I definitely would agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. So we kind of sort of answered the second question, like what else can we do with the live chat function? This is maybe one of the things that you could do, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would think so. Most definitely.
Cool. So how was your experience as a moderator with this function on the platform?
Honestly, great. Very intuitive. Not a lot of snags along the way. I think it was great being able to see how quickly people respond, how quickly they're able to you're actually able to get that feedback. And I think having moderators supporting me in my research was also a great help, because there's so much, you're able to capture so much more. I think that function that allows, that backroom conversation between the admin and the moderators is so helpful. So a really good experience, and highly recommend for most people that are looking to use, a live chat function for their research purposes. It was a really good experience.
So how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how DIY friendly is the platform? Can you do everything yourself? Do you need to reach out to research agencies, or do you need to reach out to Recollective to help you set up your study?
So I think that they've done a really good job of making it, again, intuitive. And even the things that may seem more complex, like adding in your recruits and categorizing them in segmentation, is very well done. It's laid out in plain language, and any support that you do need for do it yourself is in plain language on their websites, which makes it 10 times easier. I found that even when I've reached out and asked for help, it's usually quite timely when they do get back to you. But overall, it's quite do-it-yourself friendly, I would say.
Cool. That's great. Is it easy to probe on participants?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's, with live
Obviously,
chat
it's a live
function.
chat, right?
That's the beautiful thing about it, right? Is because you really do get that
Yep.
engagement and probing, and again, having those multiple moderators. If you see somebody's maybe not contributing, you can nudge them privately and say, hey, I noticed that you haven't mentioned anything in the public chat. Is there something privately you'd like to say? And I think that really gives you a chance to connect with your participants. Yeah. That's why I love it so much, to be honest.
Cool. And the one favorite thing about the platform?
Exactly what I
would
just
that be?
mentioned.
I know already what it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly it. I think that's the best part. There's lots to be said about collaboration in this field, and I think when something facilitates it the way that Recollective's live chat function does, and again, accompanied with those real-time insights, it's so valuable, and it really gives you the true intel that you're looking for to kind of get to a point where you can make recommendations or draw conclusions, because it's authentic. And that's massive. It kind of removes parts of that bias aspect, of course. So I would say that's for sure my favorite part.
Yeah, cool. Well, I think that was it for today. So let's just wrap it up there. Thank you, Nick, for telling us about Recollective's great new feature. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And thank you, Norbert, for hosting. Really appreciate it.